Hello everyone, the party's already started. Welcome to the Christmas edition of Coaching Conversations. Honestly, I've been crying for about the last 15 minutes before we've actually pressed record. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Amantha and this is a coaching conversation with my two brilliant guests. Forget Ant and Dec, forget Morecambe and Wise. These two are absolute gold. I'd like to introduce Pam Case and Ian Denny. Hello, you two.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, let's just get started. Let me introduce you to this gorgeous pair who really do light up a room and will light up any networking room. Pam and Ian have set up a successful online networking community which really does cater for people who have not got a clue what they're doing, who'd like to know how to do it well, and to strike up conversation, to be the sorts of people that you can have a chit chat with, and actually who knows where it will lead. And they are absolute connoisseurs at doing that. So this is honestly the best way to end 2020 for me, is to have both of these people here, and obviously Pam's reindeer, which will no doubt steal the show. But hello you two, how are you?
Great, fantastic.
Hi, Amantha.
Please, can I just say before we get started that please don't be put off anything that we do by Pam. I mean, she's gone too far with the reindeer. She's got a reindeer in her hand and she's got some cheap, tacky reindeer antlers that she got out of a Christmas cracker. We're not really like that. We need to work on our branding.
And we've been waiting for Pam. Pam has had a number of issues already in getting ready, but we thankfully are here. So shall we get started with letting people know what you're all about? You're prolific on LinkedIn, but how on earth did you get together? I mean, you really are such a gorgeous pair. How did you first meet?
Well, if I could go back in time and change it, I might do that, because I keep asking myself that question all the time. You know, like sliding doors, where could you go back to a moment in time where it didn't happen? But,
this is unsolicited feedback, Pam. This is brilliant. Okay, right. So was there an actual moment, or did you just literally slide across the networking room and meet each other?
Well, Pam's sort of she's like the Northwest and I don't know, UK Networker of the Year. She's won all these awards. Everybody seems to know Pam, and you can't help it. So I didn't have any choice in the matter. You just, by osmosis, you get to know Pam if you hang around anywhere long enough. So that's roughly how it started. So I can't even tell you a moment in time.
Can you remember a moment, Pam?
I can't actually. I somehow I kind of know I knew Ian, and I don't know how.
Yeah.
And you know, I probably can't remember that because he's so forgettable, isn't he? Anyway.
Do you know what? If I went under that hypnotic regression, it might unearth that moment when I did actually meet you, because I think I've blocked it out.
There's trauma there, Ian.
Yeah, there's hidden trauma.
In fact, I see that trauma every time you come on and do a live on Fridays with our group. I do see that, But Pam, you know, the reality is you're a dark horse, because you just are so giving in that way. Both of you are. I didn't know that fact about you until just now. So you know, you've obviously built a successful career then in this field.
Well, I started networking probably around about 15 years ago. Because I set up a business with my husband, which is an IT support company. It's still going strong. It's still doing well. And I had to learn about networking really quickly. So I joined one of those BNI chapter things. And I think over a course of 3 years, I took 130 visitors. For about 28 people sign up. And then I also used to go networking in all sorts of other places, because you should not stick yourself to just one where you're seeing the same people every week. That's important, but you've got to go wider. And And I won sort of Networker of the Year awards, and Businesswoman of the Year awards because of all the sort of networking and business building I did, and the business was winning awards. And people started to say to me, how do you do that? How do you do that? And I said, well, I do it all through networking, and I do it and through LinkedIn. And so they were like, show me. And I enjoyed showing people how to do that so much that it's just a natural progression, isn't it, to what I do now.
And that's so true, because I'm a massive fan, and I've been on a couple of your courses this year, and so I'm definitely going to do a blatant promotion of you, which is to say, if you are unsure about how LinkedIn works, how it can do more for you, you need to absolutely sign up to Pam and Ian's courses. They're content writing courses, they're masterclass courses. I'm on one of those, and I have definitely seen a positive impact for my connections and also business. So one does translate to the other, and Pam and Ian are really keen on letting you know that it's not just about writing good posts, it's about writing posts that will convert. And so the reality is it's absolutely fantastic. So already there's great chemistry between you. If you had to say in a nutshell, what is it, you know, because you are fantastic in terms of using LinkedIn, what is it you love about your work? If you were to capture it all in a sentence each, what do you say you love about your work?
Well, I think I'm a recovering introvert. I'd never even gone on video before the lockdown online.
Wow.
And if you can just stop recording for a second, Pam has helped me with that in terms of confidence and being able to be myself a little bit more online. Because I've been quite reserved. I was always the person who was in the background writing marketing copy for people. But I think over the years, I've struggled with that introvert side of it. It's like if we're going to deep dive into me, I've probably got like self-esteem issues which go right back to childhood. And I only ever felt a sense of real belonging when I used to play football.
Right.
I remember once when the weekly football game was cancelled and everyone stopped it. And I thought, that was my life. I thought, right, I've got to go and gather people together to continue with that. And I think from there on in, I've always been really keen on bringing people together, because then I can kind of quietly be in the background sort of thing, but still feel part of something. So I've always gravitated towards bringing people together, even if I'm kind of quiet.
That's so gorgeous. How many people will resonate with that? I think there are so many people on LinkedIn who want to be part of something, but don't necessarily know how to be part of something, and I think that is what's gorgeous about your relationship, because you appeal to all of us, because there's the yin and yang between you. So I'm not surprised that Pam helped you with that. How about you, Pam? Thank you, Ian. I think that's a gorgeous answer. How about you?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think what Ian's not told you is that he did actually run a huge and successful network in Liverpool, which had hundreds of people going along to it. And in the meantime, I was running a network where I was, which was very, very, very popular. I've had, hundreds of people came through that. So we've both had that. We're both people. Yeah. And I think what I love about what we do is people. That's it's the most important thing. Without people, there's just no point in living, is there? So I love helping people. I love the fact that we have laughter. Definitely, there's lots of laughter in what we do. I love seeing people get business. And say, oh wow, I can't believe it, I've met this person, this has happened, I've got business through that post. And also I love light bulbs. So when I'm sort of teaching people, every single time someone goes, oh wow, oh my gosh, revelations, I absolutely buzz off that. And I just love helping people, because I've got a similar background to Ian. People don't realise that I actually do have a very, very, very low self-esteem. So in helping other people, that helps me, in a way, it just makes you feel worthy that you've helped somebody. So yeah, and the fact that I come over as very, very confident is a trick. It's like I'm going to step into that person I actually want to be, not the person I really am. So it's just kind of acting trick, I guess. well, hey,
And,
here we are.
and that's the thing, isn't it? We all have masks.
Yeah.
And I coach a lot of people to help them sort of take off the mask and feel that they can have that authenticity. And yet the reality is, as you sort of lead me into another question, because a lot of people hide behind their social media persona, don't they? And what you're offering people is the opportunity to just be completely authentic.
Yeah, but not fake authentic. You got to kind of be yourself, because I think sometimes people think they need to be somebody else in order to get the attention which leads to business. But that's not true at all, because there are an awful lot of people out there who, I mean, what's the biggest fear in life? It's doing public speaking, isn't it? And, people are scared of entering a networking room with 100 people in there. But the majority of people feel the same. So if you're yourself, your true self, you will attract people like you, which is probably quite a lot of people. So you don't need to be the charming, outlandish centre of attention that Pam is when she's on stage. But you don't need to be like that. You can be the sort of quiet, reserved person who's in the corner with a dark background and, all right, I've got a little bit of a Christmas tree there, but I'll happily sit in the corner.
Exactly. There's room for everyone, isn't there? And I do love that. I do love that about both of you. And I think you bring a warmth and sensitivity. And I've enjoyed every part of the things that I've been involved with your group. And I just think the camaraderie, you attract people, and people are still in touch after such a long time that those courses finished. You and I both, don't we, Pam? The banter is ridiculous, and so I would consider those people friends. And those people know that if they need something from me, we can reach out and we can be there for one another, and it is lovely, genuinely. So tell us then, who are the sorts of people that you do work with? I mean, I know I was beguiled by your post, and I thought, yes, I definitely want to be part of that. But who are you catering for?
I'd say it's mainly small businesses. So it's small business owners now, and I know, and we've taught this, and I've taught this in marketing as well. You do have to find your niche. You do have to be really laser focused. But really, we're looking for people who are a little bit shy, and we're not being biased against the extroverts as well. They do equally as well. But it's people who want business. And they want to end the sense of isolation and loneliness and find, I guess, a place where they can be themselves and relax into it. Because there is a way of doing it, and it's astonishingly simple. It's like we did something with our real world networking events, back in the day where we could actually walk out the front door. But we did something where when people arrive, so Amantha, if you were the first to arrive, I'd ask you to go to the bar, get a drink, sit yourself down. The next person to arrive at random, we're going to sit you down with them for a one-to-one chat.
Brilliant.
Isn't that simple?
That's
and that breaks the ice. It's like we don't need to do any false welcomes. We just have a chat with somebody. And we do that in our online groups. It's like we have a daily conversation topic. So even if you're shy, all you got to do is pluck up the courage to give your perspective on what we're talking about. And stick with it as well, because if people don't answer you, don't give up. Just do that several times until somebody does. And once you've sparked a conversation, you're in the community, you're part of it. You're going to build friendships. You're going to find suppliers as well, because we talk too much about winning business. You can also find suppliers that you trust. And just that simple thing makes a huge difference. And that's how it starts. And we start the conversation topics, and it went on the other day in one of the groups, and it was all about dogs, and that lasted for about a day and a half. Dog pictures and all sorts, and those people who are saying, oh, this is about business. Rubbish, it's not. It's about buying the people behind the logo, who they are as individuals, what values they have. Sorry, I'm going off on one.
But can I say as well, which is what I absolutely love, is the international aspect of this community. I mean, there's people from all over the world, isn't there?
Yeah.
See, I was thinking about this morning, actually, about the fact that, you say people stay in touch with us and we make friends.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, gosh, wherever I go in the world, people are saying to me, if you come here, please get in touch, please, let's meet up. And wherever I go, it's about people, culture, history, traditions. I can look at landscapes for like 2 minutes and go, that's very nice. Now, is there anybody here who can talk to me and tell me things, who I can interact with and have a laugh with? So I've got friends all over the world now, which is just amazing. Yeah, I do feel very, very blessed by that. And yeah, that's why I love what I do.
Exactly. I mean, we had a little chat, didn't we? There was a group of us talking about your travels in India and how, how that's such a big part of your life. And I think that's it, isn't it? That's the magic of it, when you get to peel back the layers on people, take away the tinsel, take away the flashy, glittery star, and actually you get down to the substance of people. That's where the magic really happens, isn't it? And that's
absolutely,
and that's what's wonderful. So obviously you're both incredibly successful, and you have a way of networking that brings people together, and you absolutely love it. Surely it wasn't always this easy. What obstacles have you had to overcome? Because as coaches yourselves, you're coaching people to behave differently. Have there been any big obstacles that you've overcome that you can share, that say to people, it's okay, you can get beyond this stuff? Is there anything you can tell us?
Well, this pandemic for a start, because a lot of what we were doing was based on, we were networking in WhatsApp locally and meeting up locally, so that when you actually met up in person, then you get to meet the person that you've already kind of got to know on WhatsApp. And we were selling up to 150 tickets a time. Wow. For these local networking meetups. And then, of course, the pandemic took all that away from us, and we had to completely change the business. And we decided that, well, look, we're now meeting on WhatsApp and Zoom, and we can go global. And we changed our entire website, and it was a long, hard slog, but it's absolutely taken off, and it's getting bigger and bigger and more popular. And yeah, I mean, every day it seems I wake up and I get onto LinkedIn and someone has written a post about me and Ian or our business linked online. And I'm just like, wow, because it's so popular. Really, really excited about the future. I think that and the other thing is that we were always going to take our LinkedIn trainings, was doing it face to face. And then we always said, we'll eventually put all the LinkedIn training online as well. And then this pandemic forced our hand. So it's been quite a good thing for us, because then we did take it online, and as you said yourself, just resounding success.
I had a JFK moment, everyone,
somebody shot you.
Everyone was around at the time knew where they were when they heard about JFK being assassinated. I've got my 50th birthday. I was actually in Pam's house, where she put a paper bag over her head with cut out eye sockets with a pasted on with Pritt stick, the blank LinkedIn avatar across it.
Yeah.
And we recorded that. So that's my JFK moment. So
yeah, I swear. And he said to me, by the way, he said,
I'm worried that star's going to hit Pam in the face. It's twirling around.
I know. Shall I remove it? He said to me, he said, by the way, it's my 50th birthday today. And I went, you what? And I swore at him. And I went, how come you didn't tell me? Because, he said, because you would have made a fuss. And we've got work to get on with. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I've still got the bag. Do you want to see the bag?
We've got to see the bag. That's where I first saw you, with that bag on your head.
Yeah.
Mind your antlers. Mind your antlers.
I'll take my antlers off.
I still got it. Yeah, that was it.
Perfect. We'll do the rest of the interview like that, shall we?
Can't do that. It crackles.
I went to Pam's house and she stuck a bag on her head.
Dreams do come true, Ian.
Yeah. strange dreams. Very strange dreams.
It was all right till he made me cut eye holes out of it, and then I could see him again.
No, I love the fact that you've still kept that bag as nostalgia. It probably comes in quite handy. So
Yeah.
so that's the thing. I hear a lot of that, and very similarly, I did the same with my business. I am all about relationships as a coach, and it's all about face to face. But you have to think on your feet quite quickly, and so yes, so the same thing. Thank goodness for Zoom and Teams. Other platforms are available, but it's so brilliant, isn't it? And so when you think about I'd like to know a little bit more about you, and I know the people watching this would love to know a little bit more about you. So tell us, you both seem very well travelled, and you seem to know a lot about the world outside of Liverpool. So if you had the opportunity now, let's dive deep into a little bit of you. If you had the opportunity to do a 3-destination trip anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Easy.
I know.
Back to India, always. Pakistan. I also loved Vietnam, but I would probably want to see somewhere new, so probably South Korea.
And why those places, in a nutshell?
Because there's so much colour, culture, history, traditions, fascinating religions, festivals, and I think that's what makes a place interesting. I'm not a landscapes person, like I said.
Yeah.
And I think as well, I've been learning Hindi and Urdu, and I don't want that going to waste. So.
Is it in your genes to travel? Is it in your genes at all, do you feel?
I don't know.
Where it comes from?
My family, nobody in my family is into travel. They just, they go to the Costa del Sol, same place every year. I'm not bred out. I must have been the milkmans.
Well, they call that epigenetics, don't they? That when things travel down through your DNA, and maybe pass on to your next generation. But obviously, in that case, it's not something. Was there a moment that you realised you loved travelling?
I think the first time I went to Morocco, and again, all the colour and the culture and it was so interesting, and all the history, and I think that it blew me away, and I just thought, I want more of this.
Yeah.
I want to see more of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's brilliant, Pam. What about you, Ian? What about you? If you had a 3-stop destination and your airfare's all paid for you and you can spend as long as you like, what 3 places would you want to go to?
I would probably want to go to Vietnam and explore it much more than I already have.
Okay.
For similar reasons, I'd also include Indonesia on that, because I lived and worked there for 18 months, but I couldn't travel as much because of the job. So I was stuck in Jakarta for a lot of that, and I did get to see a few other places, but I was desperate to sort of go exploring, and I'd like to go back there and do a little bit more of it.
So Vietnam, Indonesia, where would be your final stop?
I'd have to go for South America, somewhere like Peru.
Wow, I'm writing those down. That's brilliant. And again, so you obviously share similar values around that. You're interested in cultures, you're interested in people, which makes you perfect for the jobs that you do, doesn't it? Because...
Yeah, but please know we have chosen destinations that take us away from each other.
Yeah. Except Vietnam, anyway.
Except Vietnam, yeah.
You've got to cross that one off then.
Yeah, okay.
It's a big enough place to keep away from him. If he's going south, I'm going north.
So obviously, this is really important. People, when you're around people and you're promoting people and you're bringing people together, what do you do in your lives to keep authentic and stay true to who you are? What strategies do you have? Because in a world where mental health and lots of issues are increasing for people, mental health challenges. You know, people can lose sight of themselves and go down a road of mental health challenge that can be really destructive. How do you keep true to who you both are?
I think most people sort of hide their war wounds, and they learn to do that at some point in their life. And I think I became an expert at sort of holding things in and hiding them, going silent, locking myself away from people. And sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. And the way you come out of that is to actually talk to people. And when you do talk and share what's happened to you, you don't get vilified for it as much as you think you will. And what you then find is that we've all got those war wounds in common, and people tend to share their stories then, and you build more relationships. And I think it's important to be authentic, but not dramatic or fake authentic. You know, I've seen some people, particularly online, who seem to look to create dramas just so that they've got a post. And they're trying to be authentic within this fabricated drama. I think you just need to be true to yourself, really, in terms of, you know, talk about things from your past that might have impacted you, but what's she doing?
I'm so sorry, Ian.
I'm just trying to distract you, Ian.
Yeah, okay, I was going on too much.
Yeah, you've had your moment, Ian. Right, it's now time for Pam. So Pam,
I'm trying to get a bit better lighting, so it's a bit dark here.
Yeah.
It's good that you're focused on the conversation, Pam. It's great that you're listening to Ian talk about his life experiences and you're giving him 100% of your attention.
Listen, I can multitask.
It was much better with the you had, Pam.
Right, so this is an ironic question that we're about to ask Pam about how she stays authentic.
Well, I honestly think that because I love people so much and being around them, that because of kind of different tiers and lockdown and not, I have found myself thinking, who am I? I've lost my sense of self at times, and I do think that doing these webinars and doing our online networking, that keeps me in touch. If it hadn't been for that, I don't know what I'd have done. But also, we've got a, I mean, I don't know what people, in what countries people will watch this, but we do have a comedy program called Red Dwarf, in which there are these characters, and it's a very, very funny thing. And this guy, they're in a spaceship on their own in outer space, and they more or less hate each other. One of them has this mug, and in this mug, this mold is growing, and character number 2 cleans it, and the guy with the mug says, what did you do with that mug? And the guy who's cleaned it away said, well, it was, you know, it was disgusting, sir. There was mold growing in it. And he said, I was growing that mold. He said, because I know that it really annoys and mentions the third person, right? And he went, and annoying him is what keeps me going, right? It gives me a sense of purpose. Enter Ian. Hey! So I kind of say, look, you know, that's the cup of mold for me. Kind of kneeling in keeps me going.
Oh, thanks, Pam. That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
The longest thing she's ever said about you, Ian.
Yeah, the opportunity he brings to my life.
Yeah.
You're all heart. That's brilliant. So listen, there is obviously great chemistry between you, and honestly, I would be sad when I'm no longer on the course. I don't know how I'm going to get my fix of you. I hope you do some sort of Christmas CD for people. I'll just have to give it this, I guess. But the reality is, there must be one quality that you completely respect about each other.
Hey, you said there'd be no difficult questions. Gah.
Well, listen, we'll let Ian answer, so you've got time to think with your reindeer. So focus on an answer. Ian, what one quality?
I've got to say this in public with it being recorded.
Well, we can always have some interference, like Pam can divert attention playing with her reindeer.
Well, I think Pam genuinely cares about everybody. If she sees anybody that's perhaps not the best, who are not the best, or they're feeling a little bit down, or they've got a problem in the business, she tries to think of a solution. And even if she can't fix it herself, she'll find someone who can. And she gives her time. A lot of the business coaches, and I'm conscious of who's asking the question, would possibly question the amount of time she spends doing that. And yeah, you can argue that, that doesn't really pay off, but I think it probably does, because it just makes her the person she is.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely, Pam. Now you're going to have to go some to beat that. Well done, Ian.
Can you edit that out, please?
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get rid of that. Yeah. So Pam, if you were to pretend to, have one quality, just pretend, that acting thing you do, pretend that there's one quality that you like about Ian, what would you say for the purpose of a good, viewer ratings?
There's actually quite a few. I have said to people privately, God, this is horrible. This is like Christmas confession time, isn't it? That out of all of the people I've ever worked with or for, if you stood them all up in a wall against a wall and said, pick one of them to work with for the rest of your life, I would pick Ian in a heartbeat.
Did you hear that, Ian?
I did. Not bad for a bit of mould, isn't it?
Let's wait. There might be a punchline. There might be a killer punchline. Let's just hang on. Let's wait. Yeah, right. So you pick Ian.
I think he's incredibly supportive, incredibly understanding, works like a Trojan. If I'm feeling down or lost, he is always there for me. He's not very, very understanding person, and quite deeply spiritual and philosophical, and no one would know that. And I can honestly say, I think we've been working together now for like just over 2 years, I think. And in all that time, and we've been through a lot, starting up a business, having to change the whole model, starting again,
Copycat.
the whole pandemic, and we've not actually argued seriously.
We only do that in public.
Yeah, I was just about to say you do, but you share it with the nation, with multiple nations, in fact, which is wonderful.
What you see, we're actually like this with each other anyway. It's not put on.
Yeah.
I mean, what did I say to Ian this morning? He said, "Oh, can we do X, Y, Z?" And I went, "Not until you've given me A, B, C. And if you don't do that, I just might have to kill you." And he just burst out laughing. And this is the way we are, honestly.
It's like the worse the insult, the more funny it is. It normally ends up
exactly. And it's so gorgeous. It's so watchable. And again, I would urge anybody to come on your courses, because you make it come alive. There's no distance from the people that you're coaching and you're working with and you're encouraging. You keep yourselves nice and close, and that's what community spirit is all about, isn't it? A lot of people talk about community spirit, but very few walk it, and I think you do both of that in abundance, and I think that's what people absolutely love, and you couldn't have done it at a better time than I know. I speak for so many people who, if it weren't for the fact that we could dial in or be on a call with you every week for the last 12 weeks, I think people would have really struggled. I don't think you fully appreciate the joy, the happiness, the laughs that you've brought to people. I mean, obviously, you've boosted cough mixture sales by yourself, Pam, independently, because whatever cough mixture Pam was taking when we all thought she had COVID and was very poorly, it seemed to make her irresistibly charming, smiling, laughing permanently. It didn't matter what time of day you rang her. So she probably single-handedly boosted the sales of cough mixture, I think. But I think
it was Co-op cough mixture as well.
It was Co-op. Other brands are available.
Yeah,
but that one keeps you laughing 24 hours a day.
Yeah, if you want the same impact, it is Co-op. Go for the Co-op brand.
Yeah. If there's any left, if she hasn't bulk bought it all, that is.
Do you know what the thing is as well? I think it's because I was sat on the live and I didn't have a spoon and I desperately needed the cough mixture. So I just thought I can't just leave the shot and go and get a spoon. So everybody just saw me going with this bottle, and I think that's what did it. And
it was the laughing afterwards. You were uncontrollable. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous, wasn't it, Ian? It was. I think you said unprofessional at times, but there we go.
Unprofessional.
We've had some laughs this year, which is strange to say in the pandemic, but it's been a good round. I mean, you must get that all the time, because I think that is the magic. It's not a one-time event. I think I can say this on your behalf. It is you. You make it gorgeous and brilliant and fun, and I genuinely don't know how I'm going to feel when it finishes. I'm really hoping it keeps going in that community. Whatever else you're offering.
Every time we've come to the end of a masterclass, people have said, "Oh no, what do you mean? What do you mean it's finishing?" And anyone would think that they were just along for the laughs, but at the end of the day, then all these testimonials, we've got so many of them from people saying, "I'm winning so much more business." But you know what? It hasn't been dry and boring. No. And as for those live lunches on a Friday, somebody once said to me that often in the chat, people start to chat, and he said it's almost like we're a crowd at a concert waiting for the band to come on.
Yeah.
And you don't know what it's like back here. Like, that is hilarious.
But it's not really about egos, is it? It's like we're all in it together. It's like we're just part of the team as well.
Yeah.
It's not, we're all trying to achieve the same thing.
And I think that's lovely, because actually we are all trying to achieve the same thing, and actually if we can do it in a way that is supportive of one another, that's even better, isn't it?
It just helps that we're stupid.
No comment. If you could have a one-to-one conversation with anybody,
Ooh.
Pam will have it with that reindeer, I would imagine, in a minute. But if you could have a conversation with anybody that would tell you something, meaningful, or you'd hope to get something meaningful from them, who would it be and why? Have we frozen?
I think I think it's quite difficult because so many different people in the world bring different perspectives. I mean, obviously I'd like to speak to someone like Jesus. I'd like to speak to Eckhart Tolle. And
you mean Eckhart Tolle?
No, it's Tolle.
You're a brave man, Ian. You are a brave man.
And
I was living in the moment.
Yeah, we shall look that up later. We shall Google that. Anyway, also in terms of I like, when you listen to music, it's not so much, although the music itself is important, the lyrics mean a lot to me. And there's been a lot of things that have got me through some very deep, dark places in life. So lyricists like Roger Waters, Kate Bush, that kind of thing. Yeah, I like to speak to them.
Yeah, you love your words, don't you? What's the word that's on your profile that says you love languages? What is that word? I can't remember it right now.
Polyglot.
Yeah, I actually went and Googled that. I was like, what on earth is a polyglot? And what is a polyglot? Tell people.
A polyglot is someone who aspires to speak or does, well, I'm a polyglot wannabe. So a polyglot is someone who speaks several languages fluently. And I think I read somewhere that it needs to be 5 to be described as a polyglot.
That language you speak after the cough mixture, that counts as well.
What do we call that language, Ian?
That's one of your 5, Pam. So there you go. You got one more than you thought.
Yeah. Though this is the thing about, if you put something a little bit intriguing in your LinkedIn profile, it makes you very human, doesn't it? It tells people a bit about you, not just about what you can do for people.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you, Pam. What about you, Ian? What about you? I mean, that is lovely as well. You know, you don't necessarily have to have a conversation with someone, but music can speak to us, and so powerful and evoking. Reading can speak to us, can't it? So, is there anything in a similar vein that you think, you know, if you had a conversation with someone, or read something, or heard something that's had, you know, that would make a difference to you? Who would it be?
That's a tough one. Pam's actually mentioned one of them, Kate Bush. I find her story absolutely astonishing, because some of the songs she wrote when she was about 12 or 13 years of age. I think she wrote The Man with the Child in His Eyes when she was 13.
Wow.
I thought, bloody hell, how does that mind work? And some of the lyrics of some of the songs, I'd love to know the story behind it, because it must be fascinating to know where those ideas come from. Because none of her songs are conventional by any means.
And that is so powerful, isn't it? I watched Rocket Man again. I love that film. And you know, when you see, there's a scene in there where you see, you know, Elton's mum and dad in the kitchen, Granny's there as well, and they're all singing their part of one of his songs, and it brings such depth and meaning to what he was feeling as a child who felt effectively unloved, and non-existent, invisible almost. I just think it creates such power. I mean, I just feel a lump in my throat now, actually, just thinking about it. So you're absolutely right. And talent like that, Kate Bush, you know, I don't think we appreciate that, do we? You know, these are really intuitive, insightful people, and they're sharing their world with us, aren't they? So it's lovely. So do you both like music? You both like music, do you?
Love music, so important. So, and my kids have inherited that, and they go rifling through my vinyl, and they're always talking to me about music. And my son, very, very clever kid, but he's actually also formed a band. I had to soundproof his room. Honestly, if you sit in my garden in the summer, it's like sitting on the front row at Glastonbury. But I think there's an important thing to know. I know I shouldn't really go on about this, but about Kate Bush, for example, that a lot of women in the music industry tend to have to use their sexuality to get on, and she has never, ever done that. She's kept her name out of the gutter press. She's never done anything outrageous. But she is a lyricist, a choreographer, a dancer, a director, a producer. She's plays several instruments and is a perfectionist in every single aspect of her work. Now, I think for women in business or in any walk of life, that is truly inspirational. Don't sell yourself short.
I think it was also the way she actually controlled her own career, and she dictated to record companies which singles she was going to release. And I think they changed their mind, and didn't they release Wuthering Heights first? And then she dictated the next one. I can't remember the full story, but she seemed to control the record company, and I think she got away from that control at a very young age. I think it was 17 or 18. Wow. That's amazingly mature for someone of that age to have done that.
And it comes back to that authenticity piece that you're talking about, isn't it? You can be powerful in your own authenticity, and it doesn't have to be loud and shouty and out there. It can be if you want it to be like that, but you hold all the power.
Yeah, as Kate Bush says, we humans got it all. We perform the miracles.
Oh, what a great line, Pam. That's a great line. So we're about to sort of wrap things up, and I suppose in our sparkly type Christmassy way, as 2020 starts to draw to a close, what would you hope for 2021 going forward? If you could gift anything to the world, to your community, to, you know, those beyond your community, what would you want to see more of in the world next year, and what would you like to see less of, possibly?
But it's going to sound really cheesy, but I think the pandemic has made us realize a lot of things about people in different parts of the world, because we've all been Zooming together, been WhatsApping together. I think I've been very fortunate in terms of, like, I've lived and worked in another country, which when I first told people I was going to Indonesia, a 90% Muslim country, you do kind of have preconceived ideas because of a lot of the things in the press. But one of the things you see with everywhere you travel to is that people are the same. They all have the same basic needs. They all want to be loved. They want food. They want shelter. And in virtually every country I've traveled to in Southeast Asia, everybody is warm and welcoming. And we're all the same. Yeah, we might have different cultures and traditions, but ultimately we're the same. And I think this pandemic has been a great gift in many ways because it's exposed us to different people, and we've all realized that actually we're quite similar. And actually we can do business with each other as well. And I think another thing, I've got to throw this in there because we're talking about the future, because Pam's listening and we haven't discussed this, and just want to see the look on her face. But we're going to set a target for next year of a minimum of bringing together 1,500 people and building a community, and it can be global as well. We don't care who joins and from where. And we're going to create a community spirit where we actually support each other. You know, if we can, let's try and buy from each other as well and support each other in that way. But yeah, I think, you know, we need to set these targets and goals, and that'll be 10 WhatsApp groups of 150, Pam. By the end of January, if you can, please. Then we can have the rest of the year off.
I don't want to think about it right now. It's a huge target, but I'm sure we'll do it.
So I just had to throw that in.
Yeah, well done, Ian. Safety in numbers, always good. I've got your back. Yeah. Over to you, Pam, then. So what would you want for the world and the wider community?
I've thought about this quite deeply, and that might surprise you. But
doesn't surprise me at all.
Understanding. Because people say, oh, do you know what, I'd just like to give the world peace, and I'd like to give, you know, and clearly an end to the pandemic. But I think if everybody had more understanding, that would lead to peace, because we would understand each other. We would understand. See, I like to learn about everybody's religion and respect it and understand it. And yes, you know, people of no religion and why they believe that. The way the cultural differences are. And that kind of understanding does lead to peace, and peace leads to more happiness. So, and also, even if, you know, I suffer, if I don't keep it in check, from massive anxiety disorder. And if we understand where it comes from, we can tackle it. And I think as well, at the moment in particular, I mean, I think we've always had conspiracy theorists all over the place, but now because we've got the internet, those people are spreading fear, and they are hampering good work that is going on. And everything, what they're saying is based on theory and hearsay. It's not based on scientific facts. And I've met people who have actually been really scared by what these people are saying. Now, if they were taught critical thinking in school and understanding, we wouldn't have that either. So I think understanding is just the biggest thing I'd love to give to the world. We'd all get along a lot better.
Brilliant. And I think lovely complementing with Ian's, you know, that warmth and that, you know, that compassion. And, you know, I think you're right, because they're all values, aren't they? You know, and when values as strong as those really do tip into our behaviour, and that's what the world would see more of, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and for myself, I'd like never to have to work with Ian again.
She's so well. She just right at the end there.
Spoilt it, didn't she? All those wonderful cheesy.
Where's that paper bag when we needed it?
We just all had a deep sense of well-being and warmth.
We were feeling glowing. My Robin was, I don't know what it was doing, but it was doing something. And, you know, I was feeling sparkly and tinsely, and then you just stepped all over it.
Yeah.
I'll edit that bit out anyway, Ian.
No, and,
Yeah.
and you've mutated.
My reindeer would like to meet your Robin.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have a chat about that. Won't we? Yes. So, from me to you, thank you so much for being my willing little Christmas elves and coming onto this. I think I call it a show. I've been doing it for long enough. And thank you so much for sharing the love and the passion for what you do. I absolutely know you'll smash that target, both of you, when all is said and done, because if anyone's watching this, please look out for Pam Case, Ian, Denny. Do you know what? Be brave, introduce yourself to them. With that in mind, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
LinkedIn. Go to the website, connect.linkedonline.network. Join our chat groups, they're free forever. You'll get some business out of it. You'll get some community. You might even have a laugh. Yeah.
And it'll be so much fun. I can absolutely show you. This is like 10% of what it normally is. So do you know what? Do it. That's all I can say. But thank you so much from me to you.
And thank you for coming on our course and bringing, look at you, you're just so sunny. And you bring so much sun and positivity, and and great posting on LinkedIn. You've been brilliant, and thank you for inviting us on. It's been really, really good fun. You said you didn't want us to be serious because that's really not us, and you knew that. So yeah,
no, it's lovely.
It's been fun.
Amantha, thanks. It's been an absolute pleasure spending the last hour with you, despite us having your other guest.
Well, maybe we'll do something else, just you and me, Ian.
Okay.
No, I'm only joking. You come as a gorgeous pair. So have a fabulous Christmas break yourselves. Recharge, reconnect, and restart back in 2021. Been brilliant year. So for now, we'll say goodbye.
Don't forget the Zoom wave.
And happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.